This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. We are delighted to be joined on Zoom. I'm actually trying to think the last time we done a Zoom, Stevie. It was probably a couple of years ago, I think. I think was it before you
Oh,
done your exhibition fight with the strongman? Was he a strongman?
might have been.
I think I'm trying
It
to
might
think
have
when
been.
it was. Uh,
2021, like January 2021.
was it 2021? Yeah, I think you'd fought Jolo Vololi or something. I think his name was. And I think it was maybe between that. My memory is not the best.
No, mine's worse than yours, mate, to be honest with you.
But obviously you're over in Manchester, obviously just over 2 weeks out from obviously a big fight. Like, tell me, Stevie, you must be on a serious high at the moment. Obviously, probably in some ways your win over Tommy McCarthy is probably overshadowed with what happened between Lewis and Paddy Donovan on the night. But is it probably fair to say probably the best performance of your professional career to date?
Um, I, I probably, just in performance wise, probably not the best fight I've been in, but
Mm.
the best performance. There's fights like the Liam Conway fight, it would be like my best fight, but not for all the right reasons for me. But then, yeah, best performance. I feel like it was. I feel like it was a controlled performance. I feel like I felt very good going into the fight, to be honest. It was a must win. It was a must win.
I think it was the same for you and Tommy. Obviously, I know he's done countless amount of rounds through the years. Like in some ways, you probably would have liked to enjoy it and obviously celebrate a bit more. But whenever it's a close friend and obviously it ends up being the end for them, sometimes it's hard to sort of be sort of your normal self. Well, sort of, I guess you are your normal self in the fact you don't over celebrate too much, but like it's a fantastic performance for you. And I guess the fruits of the labor from taking a big fight like that, it's obviously got you the Mike Perez fight afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, but listen, I'll be honest, like me and Tommy's mates, but when I won that night, like I was buzzing. I was buzzing. I was going mad. Obviously emotions got I was celebrating the ring because like it was a different type. Obviously he Russell Jr. Obviously he stopped the fight. But like he was starting because it was in Tommy's interest, but it's not like the Dave Allen fight last night. It's not like Tommy was lying out cold on the floor where if it's a situation like that you don't celebrate. But that was like what I thought a really good stoppage. Tommy it was not he was fine, obviously just wasn't in the fight and he was on his way and so a celebration there I thought was just right. But yeah, I was buzzing. It's mad, mate. I thought my career was done. Like I genuinely thought it was done. Nothing was happening. I working, I was training, like I wasn't getting a sniff of anything. And I've never really turned down a fight. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think I've ever rejected a fight. You know, there's not a lot of fighters, especially now, I think they can say that. You know, I don't think I've ever turned down a fight. And yeah, the Perez fight came up. Perez is a good fighter. Perez is a good fighter. He's getting older now. Um, but he's good. He's like the boogeyman. No one ever, whenever he first came to Cork years ago, like everyone talked about him like he was the boogeyman. But it's he's on a bit now and the opportunity came for me and I'm taking it with both hands.
How did it come about? Because obviously I know Mike shared a thing sort of saying sign the contract, and you were like, what contract? Sort of
Absolute ball bag. Don't know
was
what he was
he
on
was
about.
he trying to get make the fight at that stage? Obviously there was nothing on your end to say about the Perez fight.
Nah, he's full of crap. Because like no one had sent anything to me about a Perez fight. I've just said I've never turned down a fight in my life. I talked to lead my manager and he was telling me, look, there's a couple of different options on the table now after that win. And we looked at them and just chatting. I think when he said there was options, like this, we could do this, we could do this. He had maybe said that like he did say, sorry, there's an opportunity to potentially fight Perez, but none like, listen, do you want to fight? And then someone told me he was on Instagram or whatever, like call me out. I can be part of all that shit. I just couldn't be annoyed of it, and I was just like, listen, if he liked grown men, I said something like if he likes to call grown men daddy, then it's up to him what he's into himself. But yeah, send me a contract, and literally the manager phoned me and was like, they've offered you the fight, and I said, 100%, I'll fight him.
Like obviously, I know obviously me and you, Stevie, go back obviously quite a few years, obviously when the Frampton days and things like that, and you were never sort of one for this sort of social media thing of calling people out. Like even I guess obviously me and you have a bit of I'm a good few years ahead of you, but like, is it weird for you when you sort of have that sort of thing online where you sort of was saying that about signing the fight and things like that, and you're sort of going, like, what's going on here? Like, if you want to fight, we'll fight.
Yeah, I find it funny. It don't bother me. I like it. I like it because it brings up a bit of interest, doesn't it? But yeah, I didn't care. I'm not going to go on and start slobbering online and being like, oh, sign a contract and all this carry on. But yeah, the manager told me there's a contract here. I said, 'cause I phoned Lee and I was like, what contract's he on about? And he was like, I don't know. And then Lee phoned me and was like, look, fight here, we agreed terms. He says, do you fancy it? I said, flip right, I do. When is it? And it's on a massive. Listen, I'm like, I'm one loss away from the end of my career every time now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's realistic. I have a young family. I look opportunities, beat my peers. Like, I'm getting a big fight next, mate. I'm getting a big fight next. Peers is, you know, I don't know if you count it. I know Frampton never counts it, but like on BoxRec, he's like number 10. WBA is number 6. So he's a good ranking. So beat him. I'm right up there.
It's like, I know in the build up, obviously, you'd sort of said, I think it was a fight week we done an interview, and you were sort of saying, I want to fight for the British title. You were sort of putting your boundaries sort of low. It was sort of, beat Tom McCarthy. I want to fight for the British title. Like, you're able to bypass that now. You beat Mike Perez, who's a former world title challenger, WBA Intercontinental. Is that
Intercontinental,
I get mixed
Intercontinental.
up with the different alphabets sort of sometimes, but you beat
Yeah.
Mike Perez, you could be one fighter, it could be your next fight, and you'd be fighting for world title. That's the way the cookie crumbles nowadays.
Yeah. I think the inactivity, not that it didn't before. Look, I have 3 losses on my card now. One was to Bolotniks, which was in the golden contract. I was fighting £175. I was dead at the weight. I picked the hardest fight in the tournament, so no, no regrets over that. I fought Kunkabayev in Kazakhstan. I wasn't too well for the whole training camp. We actually I don't remember, the fight got knocked back. We pulled
Yeah.
out then and it ended up rehabbing. We still went on it, but listen, went over. The fight was going how we thought it was going to go, and we were actually relatively happy how it was going. And then obviously got split open, and then I fought Jurgen on a week's notice. So like, I oh, I love fighting. I love fighting, and if the opportunity comes to fight, I'll fight. And our ones came up, and you're right, win this one. Like I'm right in the mix, and I want to roll the dice, and I'm feeling good.
Can you take some inspiration? Obviously, someone that's a year older than you, and obviously, as a late bloomer, became a world champion, just 12 months ago yesterday. Like, can you take a lot of confidence from the fact that you at 35, you can still achieve what you want in the sport? Obviously, look at Anto Kakachi for years. He was a boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight him, taking fights, then obviously the inactivity, everything else to that. Can you take a lot of inspiration from someone like Anto to go, you can still achieve what you want in the sport? 35 is just a number. Like you haven't any mileage sort on the clock. Like you haven't really had a lot of big brutal fights. You haven't taken a lot of damage in fights. So can you take a lot of inspiration from what Anto's done the last couple of years and go, I could still actually get to where I want to in the sport?
I think fuck me, anyone at home could take inspiration from Manto, isn't he? Like he's some man, he's class. I see. Oh, he probably a couple of months ago, even before Tommy Faye was made, was messaging him and he was giving me a bit of inspiration, to be honest. Just even chatting with him, and he was just like, "Listen, big man, just keep going, mate. So even then, I've got inspiration from him. But I'm in a similar boat to what Anto was at his point in his career, where like, I love the sport, but I've been in a long time now. And, like I want to benefit my family's life through it as well. And I'm near at that point now. I'm come 7th of June, get the win. You're at that point. Do you know what I mean?
SSE Arena, obviously, last time out, obviously, it's been a few years since obviously you fought there. Like, how special? Like, you probably never thought you were going to get back to the SSE Arena again, obviously, after the Frampton days and things like that. Sometimes you need a big flag bearer to sort of come along to have these cards. Like, special night for you, obviously. Probably, would you have fought that high up the card before previously? Were you more of the earlier slot? I'm trying to think back. Were you more of the earlier slots before in the Frampton days? So you probably fought in front of more people in the SSE than you previously did.
Aye, probably. But then obviously I was on that Windsor Park bill as well with
Mhm.
Steve Collins Jr., so there'd been a good crowd at that. Um, aye, but I would have been obviously further up the card with the Crocker bill. Um, but I loved it. I love it. Like boxing's such a Belfast, especially such a big boxing city, and like people love it. Like people love boxing, and it's so good to see it back. And there's so many fighters now coming through. So yeah, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being back in there. I enjoyed like the like rivalry between me and Tommy as well. Um, I wanted to get one over him, he wanted to get one over me, and oh man, I was so confident in myself and for that fight. I actually tried to put money on myself on the bookies and the bookies rejected it. So raging.
You were trying to do like was it Mick Conlon and Paddy Barnes? Remember they were caught? Remember they were caught, was it in the Olympics or something? Was it
Olympics? No,
they were betting?
I think something like that. But I was trying to mate, the bookies had me 10-1 to stop Tommy, and I remember just thinking, I'm lumping on this, and yeah, I couldn't get over the line, got rejected. But and not that Tommy's not good. Tommy's a great fighter. Me and Tommy's have loads of sparring sessions and stuff. I just felt good. I just felt good, and I was all out.
Have you is it something that Martin Murray's added to your game, obviously, or is it just something you always had in there? Like I guess when people sort of looked at it, they're probably going, they're probably thinking the fight would maybe go points either way. Like, is there something that Martin Murray's added to your game now, or is it because you're in this last roll of the dice? They know that you could be one defeat away from having to, retiring from the sport. Is it that when the chips are sort of down, you're rolling the dice and going, let's give it everything we have?
I don't know. I don't know. Martin's added some stuff to me. That last fight, Jimmy and Nige, they were away and they couldn't do the fight. I ended up teaming with Muzza, and it's really enjoyed it. I'm a real fucking loner. I'm a real loner. Like I'm a real loner. Like I'm a real introvert. Where like I'm in camp and I stay out the back of I'm in Martin Murray's like bar at the back of his house here. This is where I sleep. I live and sleep here at the minute. And I just be on my own a lot, apart from when we go to the gym. Um and obviously Martin trained me that last week because Jamie and Nigel were away and I just enjoyed it. And Jamie and Nigel are still coming down to do my corner for this one too. They're going to be in the corner with Martin. This is what I love. Like they're all about just trying to make the fighter as happy as they can be. And for this fight came up, and I say I was like, right, I should maybe go back to Jamie and Nigel for this, but it worked in the way like I was still working and stuff, and it just worked. So I ended up saying to Jamie and Nigel, listen, do you mind if I go and just train my mother? And they were like, 100%, mate. You do whatever works for you. If you want to come to us, no problem. You want to go to him, no problem. Um, but credit where it's due. Frampton helped me a lot for the last one. Um, I- I was working and coming over to Martin for like 3 or 4 days and going back and working. And when I was at home, Fran was training me at his house. He was taking the time out and helped me out. And he was just a lot about my feet. He worked on a few things. He's like, I don't know why you do this. And he changed it. And I done some of the things he talked about on fight night. And he told Big Muzz about some of the stuff. And Muzz had spotted the same things. And we just made a few changes. And I felt very good for it. So I owe him a big thank you, like to be honest.
Do you, Obviously, I know sometimes when you retire from a sport, sometimes you've been fed up with it. Obviously, we know Carl's still staying within the sport, and obviously he's with the zone, and everything else like that now. But do you think Carl would make a really good trainer?
I think he would. He would need to brush up on his pad skills, but I think he'd make a good trainer. I think his like his boxing eye is phenomenal. You don't want to tell him to his face, but his boxing eye is really, really good. I can spot things and like change things and just I think he's good that way. He's class that way. If you could have him sitting at the side of the ring, and just feeding you these wee bits of information as like flip me, look at the man achieved and been around. People always say, like if Frampton had been chained by it doesn't matter Joe Bloggs down the road, he still would have been world champion. It was his ability.
I'm just thinking in my head there. Obviously, Frampton holding the pad free. Did he have to stand on a wheelie bin?
That was very high. But
I'm way up here.
but But it's information he gives is really, really good. And so I have to be honest, he was the catalyst from the last one that just got me just working on a few things and it felt good. And some of the stuff for this fight too, to be honest.
It's sometimes it's like it's someone's maybe told you things that you these things in the past and you've sort of neglected it because you sort of have to hear it from a certain person sometimes. But whenever somebody like Frampton, 3-time two-weight world champion says something to you, you're going, well, he's not just telling me that for the crack, and you inspires you sort of in some ways to keep it in your head.
It definitely plays a part in it. So it definitely plays a part in it. It's not that it's because he doesn't give you that information much. Like if someone's always at you gotta be doing this, gotta be doing this, gotta be you sort of like, right, okay, that's all sharp again. But then because it comes like fresh off him, you're like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so it was good. So I owe him a big thank you. I told him I'd take him for dinner, but we haven't went for dinner yet. So
Can you sort of, I guess, when you look at Portman Road, Ipswich Town's ground, like you've fought in obviously a stadium before, like you're aware of obviously how it works with a stadium, obviously fighting in Windsor Park in 2018. Like that's a big plus for you going into this fight in Portman Road in 2.5 weeks' time where you can go every fought outdoors in the stadium. I know what I'm sort of walking into. You're probably not going to walk into as many Irish people as you did in Windsor Park, but sort of how do you acclimatise to it and everything else like that. That's a big plus for you going into the fight.
no, I don't really think so, mate. To be honest, like just like a ring's a ring. You know what I mean? I'm not really big to get sucked into stuff like that. Hopefully, all being well, it doesn't. Remember, and the only reason I'm saying that is because, like, when I fought in the Ulster Hall, or when I fought in the Odyssey, or when I fought at Windsor Park. I can't really say that the environment was a massive like part in it. You're that mind frame and you're just sort of going in. So no, I don't think it really matters to be honest for me. Like
It's one of them sometimes. It's like afterwards, I guess, when you look around, you're going, it's as if you just woke up and you're going, Craigie, look at I am, look at the atmosphere. It's sort of that adrenaline kicks off, and you're going, you remember where you are.
yeah, no, that'll be give me a pint. That's what I'll be saying.
Obviously on Mike Perez, do you like obviously he's a former world title challenger. He's nearly 20 years as a pro, I think. 2008, I think he's been about the game a long time at 39 years of age. You just believe you're getting Mike Perez at the right time, you know, the in your mind frame, obviously, why is it you take the fight? Obviously, I know you say you don't turn down fights, but you just believe you're getting Mike Perez at the right time.
Why not? Like why not? That's the way I think about it. It's an opportunity, a massive opportunity. I think I can beat him if I perform. That's the key. It's just about performing. Listen, I feel like people aren't realizing how good of a fighter Perez is. Perez is a quality fighter. He's a big puncher. He's a right-handed southpaw. Um, he's well schooled, and he's in the same boat as me. He's probably been sitting on the rafters now for a while, like sitting on the sidelines for a while now. And he's thinking the same as me. But listen, I'm just going to be a really hard man to beat on the night. I genuinely feel it. I just feel like I'm going to be a hard man to beat. Um, and yeah, I need this. Like I really need it.
Like I'm just sort of looking there, like the last time he's went more than a round was more than 3 years ago. So obviously, like you just have to be sort of cautious early on in the first round. He's going to come out explosive, and then you get through that, and then you go right. We've taken him somewhere he hasn't been in more than 3 years. So you obviously could be able to test his endurance throughout the fight.
course. I but like I'm not like no fucking spring chicken myself. But like how many times have I fought in 3 years? I don't even know. 2 times, 3 times, maybe max. With the
Uh,
Tommy fight. Like
Tom, so
I
let me
haven't
see if
I
we go
haven't
back. So you did the Perry Howe fight in March
yeah,
of last year in the SSE. So this will be your fourth fight in 15 months.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like it's not like I've been super active myself, but all like he just gotta be switched on. He's such a strong fighter, explosive. He's really explosive. His IQ's good, you know, leading off and getting people to react and getting them, countering. He's quite good that way, like you've seen. But let's be honest, the last two fights he's had, he's fought Putin's, hasn't he? Like he hasn't fought no one really any decent. Um, so who aren't really there to win. Or like I'm there to win, so yeah.
It's I guess we always see with Frank Warren cards like obviously I guess it's the Eddie Hearn sort of man that people think of. You win and you stay on. Like there's a potential obviously of other big fights to sort of come. Like you can't probably look too far ahead. You can just look at Mike Perez, but for you to obviously to be getting bigger fights, you could end up in Riyadh or something like that before the end of the year in a massive fight. Like you can't look too far ahead, can you?
That'd be a dream, wouldn't it? That'd be a dream. I feel like the sports that lose me financially as well. Like I feel like the sports that lose me. I've been doing it for what, 24 years. It's a long time. I beat beat Perez. There's massive opportunities for me and the family.
Like when you look back, obviously in your, in the years you've been in boxing, like, is there anything that sort of, you wish sort of could have happened sooner? Like, would you wish you'd have got opportunities like this a bit sooner? I guess when we sort of look back in the COVID years, we sort of lost time. You probably lost activity and things like that. You probably maybe wish you got an opportunity like this a couple of years ago.
Um, yeah. I wish I had it, but I don't think I would have had the same. Wouldn't feel the same way about it the way I do now. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm like, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm going all out for it. And I fancy it if I can just show up, perform. Like, there's been loads of crap times in boxing. Do you know what I mean? Like in my career, but I've just kept showing up, and hopefully now it's all going to pay off. And I feel good for it. I genuinely feel good for it, mate. I feel like I deserve it.
Like they think at at the start of the year, I guess when you sort of have your wish list and things like that, they think that you could fight in the SSE arena and on the zone all around the world, then Portman Road Stadium in Ipswich all
Mm.
around the world in the zone. Like 2025 could be the year of the quiet man.
Yeah, massive year. It is. It's going to be massive. It's just my gut, mate, and everything. It just tells me it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Training's going well over here. I'm enjoying it. I'm training smarter than I've ever trained before. And yeah, I can't wait to fight on the 7th.
How do you visualize victory? Like how do you see the sort of fight going? Do you see it being like a culinary sort of type fight where it's tough and gruesome, where you're having moments in the fight? How do you visualize in your head? How do you visualize victory?
I don't know. I think it has the makings of what could be a few different fights. Like the way the Conway fight is, it could be like that. Maybe the second half of the fight, not the first half. I don't think so. Um, I'm fit as a fiddle. I'm always fit. I think that's one thing that stands by me. I'm fit as a fiddle, so I just know I just gotta be big wide-eyed, as Jamie Muir would say, just wide-eyed and see everything coming. Just be sharp, be smart. If an opportunity comes up, go for it. Pierre's a bit older now. If it doesn't come up, bide my time and just wait and see. But I think, yeah, I just fancy me to get the win. I think I get a late stoppage as well. Flip me,
That'd be
stop one person. I think I'm flipping. Stop one person. I think I'm better behave now. I want to stop everyone.
But that's the mentality I can have on you sometimes. If you're going, well, if I can stop one, we're not going to say you can stop everybody in the world, but if you can stop one, why can't you stop another one? If you can make Perez make a silly mistake in some ways and overreach, and you land a big bomb, you could hit him with the first punch that could be over. Like Stevie Ward at 35 years of age could be the Turby F that we never knew there was.
Yeah, I think you just gotta perform. That's it. Just gotta show up. I'm gonna be ready for a ring. I generally do. Um, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait another opportunity to make my kids proud, my family proud, um, and to be in there.
That's the thing that keeps driving you on, isn't it? Obviously the family, obviously the kids and everything else. It's creating the memories for them in the future for them. They go, my daddy was a professional boxer, my daddy done this. Like that's what keeps you driving you on.
That and I want to get to the point where like I can change their lives financially also. You know, it's the truth of it. Like as much as I love boxing, um, I want to make it all worthwhile. It's not worth it. Like it's worthwhile for me because I got to experience so much, but they got to lose so much, and they haven't got anything really back off that apart from, well, obviously to get me, it's happy and it gives me purpose. But I want to give them a better life. You know, my kids are young. I hate being away from them, and more now as I get older, I miss them like mad when I go away. And yeah, I just want to make it all worthwhile now.
And obviously, finally, obviously, because I don't want to keep you too long, obviously, because I know that you're probably getting to the stage now, you're probably going to relax and enjoy the rest of your evening. But obviously, the sponsors that are still about there. And obviously, these are the ones that sort of helping you be in Manchester and obviously training a bit away from your family and trying to make life a bit easier for you. Is there any of them you want to give them a shout out ahead of fight night?
There's so many. See, to be honest, it's like I actually had some sponsors start to reach out to me and say, "Listen, we actually you don't have to go looking for them. Like we want to sponsor you and stuff." Like Big Robbie Andrews, Scotland and I. Um, like he was with me years and years and years ago, and now he like came on and he wanted to sponsor me right away. Your Loudmouth Media as well. They've been behind me for a while now. Um, they're Mark Haslam. They're like always just wanting to help. Um, you've got James Jameson, the sponsor, also a new one that came on board. Um, and there's the Power of One. There's just there's so many. There's so many certain people just wanting to come and help me out, and I don't know. I know like they sponsor, but sometimes I don't realize it. I don't know if they understand and realize the impact that the sponsor has on you and your family at home and how like much smoother training camp can be. Like, do you know what I mean? I think sometimes I don't know if they realize that, but there's been so many. I don't even want to name them all because there's so many sponsors like Go Belfast and obviously Power Group and all these ones that sponsor me like flat out all the time. Okay, they might not be sponsoring me for this fight, but they are the reason why I'm still in the sport. Maybe some not in the sport. I'm not giving them all the credit. I gotta take some credit too.
Yeah.
But just the fact that they were supporting me at the time, do you know what I mean? It was just you'd have been lost without them.
It's the biggest thing, obviously, as I've sort of seen it quite a lot. Sort of in your earlier days, sort of when you were working full time job and training, and then having to go and do tickets and things like that. Obviously,
Mate, I'm still working. Like people don't understand. Like these past maybe week, I've stopped working. But up until this point, I was over in Mount Murray and then I was flying home and I was going to work. Obviously, I do Fight to Thrive. It's a wee company. I started working with kids around emotional wellness and boxing. Like, I'm still working. Like, see all these like lads that think like you're living the life. I am doing what I love, but I'm still fucking working. It's only been the past sort of week that maybe a wee bit more that I've been able to like take a step back now and go, okay, now, you know, yeah, but people don't realize that sometimes.
they don't. Everybody thinks that every boxer's a millionaire. Every boxer was a millionaire, they probably wouldn't fight.
Yeah, I know, probably are. Anyway, you're right.
That'd be nice. Um,
Uh,
but look, Stevie, obviously great to obviously get a catch up with you ahead of obviously fight night. Obviously, I'm sure obviously you quite a few and stuff going over, but for anybody that obviously isn't going over it, obviously wants to tune in, the fights can be on the zone, um, live all around the world, for Portman Road and Ipswich. But thanks very much for your time. Obviously, go well on the 7th of June, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you very soon.
yeah, and thank you. Thanks for this for meeting, having a chat, and thanks everyone that's going over. or whether you're just cheering me on. That means plenty as it is, because Portman Road's not an easy place to get to. We're finding out, but I want to say thank you to everyone for everyone that's supporting the messages, and roll on the 7th of June.
Definitely. Thanks very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your evening, Stevie.
Cheers, man. All the best.
Take care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.